Greetings everyone. Today we're going to explore solving 1- and 2-step inequalities. First, let's talk about what is an inequality. Unlike an equation that has an equal sign, an inequality does not have just one solution. It has a range of solutions. So an equation, an example would be x equals 2. It's a single solution. Whereas if I say x is greater than 2, well, that means 3, 4, 5. Therefore, it's a range of solutions. In your notes sheet or on your own notebook paper, let's take some notes. To start off, let's talk about the symbols. Less than. The best way to remember less than is it points left. That L sound is going to help you remember. Greater than is the opposite. Less than or equal to. That means it could be exactly that number or below it. Greater than or equal to points to the right and is or equal to. You will have to know how to write these symbols based on the vocab, and you'll have to know the vocab based on the symbols. All right, in our notes we have a spot to describe a solution. A solution to an inequality is any number that makes that inequality true. A solution to an inequality is any number that makes that inequality true. If you need to pause the video at any time, please do so. So let's see if these numbers are solutions, meaning I want to see, does -3 create a true statement in my inequality? So instead of x, I'm going to put -3. We're substituting it in. Now, that looks kind of weird. It looks like 2 minus 3, so really I should substitute parentheses. All right, let's simplify. PEMDAS rules say multiply first. -6. -6 plus 1 is -5. Is -5 greater than -3? No, it's not. -5, if it's -5, it's colder than -3. So that is not true. It's not a solution. So is the number a solution? No. And we could put a slash through that inequality to show it as well. Let's try again, this time with -1. Instead of x, let's put -1. And let's simplify. 2 times -1 is -2. -2 plus 1 is -1. Is -1 greater than -3? Yeah, I always think temperature when I think negatives. It helps me give some context to it. And yeah, -1 is warmer than -3. So yes, -1 is a solution to the inequality. Now, you've probably dealt with that before, but where we're really going to expand our understanding is graphing our solutions on a number line. So in your notes, I have a spot for the yellow writing. When we graph on a number line, we want to think about two things. First, what kind of dot am I going to draw on the number we're discussing? It is going to be a closed dot, so completely shaded in, if it says or equals to. So that would be like less than or equal to or greater than or equal to. It's going to stay an open dot if it's just less than or greater than. So open means not included. Solid or closed means included. Let's talk about which way do I shade. If I have x is less than, if the x is first and I'm talking about less than, I'm going to go left. If my solution is some variable greater than, then it shades to the right. So here's a little tip. It's a shortcut. It's no mathematical reasoning, But if you write the variable, then the number, then your sign will always point in the direction you're going to draw. Meaning if it says less than, go left. If you write your variable first and your number second and it's a greater than, that says go right. But you have to have the variable first, okay? In the past, we've talked about, hey, when I have a solution of x equals 7, we want to write the x first. That's going to become even more important now, all right? So it's best to always have variable first. All right, let's practice some graphing. You have this on your notes. You could also draw it on your own notebook. If I'm talking about A, and I'm going to write a sentence just to talk about it here. I would read this as A is greater than or equal to, see how I'm getting that? To 2. Now you don't have to write the sentence. I just wanted you to be able to read it. So on your number line, let's draw a number 2 somewhere in the middle. Now I like to see at least one number on each side. If there's more, that's fine. So on 2, I need to answer 2 questions. Am I going to have a solid or open dot? It says or equal to, so that should be solid, and make it obviously solid, okay? Next, my A values, all my numbers, all the A's are greater than 2. Well, which numbers are greater than 2? Well, 3, 4, 5, 6, all of those numbers are greater than 2, so they're included as solutions. So that means I want to shade to the right. All right, here's where you have some options, you guys. In old school math textbooks, we used to always just shade like this to the right. Okay, well, that can get a little hard to see sometimes, but I'm totally okay with it if you make it obvious. The second option is if you want to go zigzag to the right. See how that makes it really obvious? Or if you like to be very neat and tidy, another option is you can draw a line up and over to the right. As long as you have an arrow that's showing, hey, I'm going to keep going in that direction, then you're good to go there too. Let's try another quick one. I would read this as C is less than 0. So let's draw 0 on our number line. Let's do one number on either side. All right, first question, solid or open? This one is going to be open. Make it obvious. Next, I'm saying that all the C values are less than 0. That means I want to go left. So I'm going to show zigzag, but if you want to shade or go up and over, totally fine. Now let's do the reverse. Given the graph, let's write the inequality. So the way I always remember it, this is just a little tidbit, you don't have to write this down, but I always think letter, number, symbol. So let's think about it. Here's what's cool. You get to pick any letter you want. Just make sure it looks like a letter. What I mean by that is careful. I wouldn't pick L because that could look like a 1. Maybe don't pick I, right? If you want to be really safe, just pick X all the time. But you have some options. The number I'm talking about is -1. That's where my circle's contained. Next, I shaded left. So I want to point left, meaning less than. And then I have to decide, should I put a bar under it? Should this be or equals to? Nope, it shouldn't be because that circle is open. Because it's open, we don't have or equals to. So there's my inequality. Let's try again, same thing. Letter, I'm going to pick Z. Number is the number 2. I'm going left, so I'm going to have less than. And it's a solid dot. Take a look at that, solid, which means it's included. It's or equals to. Let's talk about this one. We can take statements and turn them into inequalities. So for example, a person must be at least 35 years old to be elected president of the US. All right, so their age, I'm going to use the letter A. The number we're talking about is 35. Now think about this. Can I be less than 35 and be president? Nope. Can I be greater than 35 and be president? Yep. Could I be exactly 35? Yup. So when you have real-world situations, it's actually easier. Just think, bigger or smaller, and can I be exactly that number? Here's another one. You must be at least 18 to vote in an election. All right, we're still talking about age, so I'm going to use A. You could use any variable, though. The number is 18. Can I be exactly 18 and vote? Yep. Can I be less than 18? Nope. Can I be greater than 18? Yes. All right, let's backtrack to remembering the solving equations. You don't need to jot this down. It's just a quick refresher how we're going to isolate the variable with inverse operations. Instead of times, we divide. So don't forget those little dots if you need to draw them. All right, so quick review. So what does that mean when I solve an inequality? Not much is going to change. Same idea. Draw a line down the symbol. We want to get x by itself. Instead of subtract 15, let's add 15. The x falls down, the symbol falls down, and we calculate. The difference now is I want you to graph the solution. So on our number line, somewhere in the middle, let's put a 27. And on either side, we want to label correctly. Two questions, open or closed? Open, left or right? If I'm saying x is greater than 27, I want all the numbers greater than 27. Again, you can zigzag, shade, or draw up and over. Let's try another one. Something unique happens here. Let's draw a line. Instead of y plus 12, we're going to minus 12. Everything else falls down like usual. But look at how that's written. See how that's weird? Is that less than or greater than for this inequality? The letter's not first. We want letter first. So we have to flip-flop, okay? So you have a flip-flop handout. We will discuss it in class. If you are gone, I would suggest getting that flip-flop notes from another person, but we're going to talk about it right now as well. The goal means we need to flip everything about this inequality, meaning the letter is first, the number is second, and I flip the sign. Because see, if I'm pointing to y, I need to stay pointing to y, right? I'm not changing the meaning. I'm just writing it another way. Now that looks like something I can graph. On our number line, somewhere in the middle, put negative 13. To either side, we want to put the correct values. Now let's ask two questions. Open or closed? Closed. So make sure you shade that in. It's closed because it's or equals to. It's got that line underneath. And then it says y is less than. Less than means left. Zigzag, up and over, or shade. Now here's where we have a special rule. I made it so big on your notes. If you're writing your notebook, write really, really big. When we solve inequalities, we have a special, unique rule. Hence why I've made it so big and highlighted it yellow, right? So, so important. If you divide or multiply by a negative number, negative, and it has to be divide or multiply, you must flip the symbol. If you divide or multiply by a negative number, you must flip the symbol. If you want to know more about the why for that, send me an email. I can provide you with some descriptions or some video links. For now, let's worry about the technicality. If you divide or multiply by a negative, you've got to flip. All right, let's start off with this problem. Again, we're solving one or two steps. In this case, instead of divide by 3, let's times by 3. Now, is the number I multiplied by a negative? No, that 3 is positive, so no special rule here. X falls down, symbols falls down, and let's see, what do I have? 30, 60, 90, I think I've got 81 here. Let's graph. Somewhere in the middle, write negative 81, followed by a number on each side, correctly written. I'm going to put, or answer my two questions, open or closed? Open. And it says X is less than, so I'm going to go left. I want the numbers that are less than. Hey, here's another little tip. Negative 82, if I was to plug it in, is negative 82 less than negative 81? Yeah, it is. So I shaded the right way. I shaded negative 82. That's good. So if you're nervous about shading the right way, check your work. All right, let's take a look at this one. I'm going to draw a line down the equal sign. Now, I could deal with the fraction, you guys, but I'm actually going to split this up into a two-step inequality, meaning instead of divide by 4, I'm going to start by timesing both sides by 4. Negative 3w falls down, and I've got 12. My next step, instead of times by negative 3, I'm going to divide by negative 3. Hold up, hold up, hold up. What did I just do? I just divided by a negative. I just divided by a negative. I'm highlighting this, so if you have a highlighter, let's do that. Instead of greater than, I have to flip my sign. That's the special rule. Everything else falls into place, meaning the w falls down. I've got 12 divided by negative 3, which is negative 4. That's it for the rule. It's not difficult to use, it's difficult to remember. So don't let that get away from you. All right, negative 4 in the middle, 1 on each side, closed dot on negative 4, and it says w is less than, so I'm going to go left. Here's a two-step problem. Line down the symbol, right? PEMDAS backwards when solving. If you need help with these solving steps, then that means we need to check back to our solving videos. Instead of times by 3, I'm going to divide by 3. That gets me to a 1. On my number line, let's put a couple of numbers on there. Open or closed? Closed. Make it obviously closed. It says W is greater than 1. So we're going to go to the right. There was no negative multiplying or dividing here, so no special rule. Let's try another one. Bear with me, you're doing great. Draw a line down the symbol. Let's go through our solving steps. The negative 9y falls down. We've got 63. Divide both sides by negative 9. Whoa, let's stop. I just divided by a negative. If you're using your pencil, make that bold. That means I need to flip my sign. Alrighty, the y falls down, and I arrive at a negative, what do we got? Very good, 7. Let's draw our number line solution. Negative 7, correctly label left and right. Open or closed? Closed. Y is greater than negative 7. That means to the right. You don't need to necessarily jot this down, but let's talk about this one quick. You walk dogs in your neighborhood after school, and you earn $4.50 per meaning multiply, per dog. How many dogs do you need to walk to earn at least $75? meaning do I want to earn exactly 75? Yeah, that'd be okay. Do I want to point and have greater than 75? Yeah, that would be great. I want the money I earn to be greater than $75. So we're creating a 1 or 2-step inequality. Now we're going to solve it. Let's divide both sides by 450. And let's see. I would have to walk, and let's divide that. Nice clean number. Ooh, is it a clean number? 75 divided by 4.5. Weird. Okay, so here's what I got. I got 16 2/3. Can I walk 2/3 of a dog? No, that doesn't make sense, right? This is a real world scenario. So for dogs, I need to walk at least 17. We would round up. We would round up because if I round down, I'm making less money, and I want to make 75 bucks or more. All right, that was a little bit longer video because this is quite the introduction to inequalities. So, two main things. We want to remember how to graph. Most importantly, open or closed, left or right. We want to remember that when we multiply or divide by a negative, we flip the sign. All right, so don't forget those, very important. For your practice, make sure you check out Google Classroom, see what's posted, see what you need to get done. Let me know if you have any questions. Seek out help in the Sabre Center that's always staffed. And until next time, have a good one.